everybody, Lorraine here. I'm so glad you joined me today. We're going to do a flow yoga class together. I love flow yoga classes because they kind of remind me of dancing as we transition from one move to the next with a little bit more fluidity than we would, let's say, in our power yoga classes. Where in our power yoga classes, it's a little bit more about the strength and the body. In our flow classes, it's a little bit more about the breath and, of course, the flow. So just remembering here that everything I say for you is merely a guideline for your practice. Just be intuitive. Be in your own body, closing the eyes in as much as possible and just really thinking about the breath and how it matches your movement and in fact even inspires your movement. Take breaks whenever you need, adjust whenever you need. I'll try to give you suggestions for modifications. And really I just want you to let go of any preconceived ideas or notions about what you should look like or what we should be doing here, and just settle into your body, onto your mat. Push away all those thoughts that we just don't need, those worries and the criticisms. And we're just gonna move. So I hope you're ready. You really just need a mat. If you have some yoga blocks, feel free to grab those. Maybe a cushion or a blanket, particularly if you like to cover up at the end in our Shavasana. Maybe a little sip of water here and there. But otherwise, we're just gonna get started. We're gonna just stay here in our seated pose. Remember, if cross-legged doesn't work for your body, find a comfortable seat, whatever that means to you. And then get out those first little wiggles. Softly close the eyes. Placing the hands wherever they're comfortable here this morning. Maybe that's on knees or in your lap. I'm just gonna kind of wiggle back and forth. Feel those sitting bones beneath you, and then lift the torso up nice and high. Keeping the shoulders soft and relaxed. Separating the teeth, taking a little swallow here just to open up that throat, making it a little bit easier for you to breathe. Feel the crown of your head lifting up towards the heavens, almost as if there was a little string attached to the top of your head, and it's just ever so gently pulling you up. So feeling grounded through the sacrum, feeling light and airy through the crown of the head. And then now just draw your attention to that beautiful breath of yours. And just notice at first where it is. Maybe it's kind of shallow in your chest. So we're just going to move that down, little by little, down towards that belly. So that as you inhale, you can feel your belly pressing away from your body, inflating. And when you exhale, how it softens and pulls back towards your spine. And it shouldn't be an onerous task. We're just softly moving the breath in and out, encouraging it to go deep. Encouraging it to move away from the shoulders. Continuing to lift. Noticing if you tend to start to lean forward. And again, just noticing, not being hard on ourselves. Let's just take a few more breaths here. Feeling yourself nice and grounded. Feeling the support of the earth beneath you. Feeling the lightness of the air in the heavens above you. Feeling the community of people around you, even though they may not be here with you. And then from here, just moving intuitively, start to do a few head lifts and lowers. Maybe as you inhale, lifting the chin up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, slowly dropping the chin down towards the chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Couple more times here, just warming up those necks. If you're like me and you're doing this yoga practice First thing in the morning, it's just so nice to get out those kinks from lying on those pillows in a static position throughout the night. And let's go ahead and turn the head. Big inhale as you turn the head to one side. And exhale as you turn it to the other side. You can keep the eyes softly closed here if you like. It just really helps to keep your attention on yourself rather than on me. A couple more head turns here, just opening up the sides of the neck here. Yeah, very nice. From here, folks, we're just going to come onto all fours. So whenever you feel ready, just coming on to hands and knees, taking the hands right below the shoulders, taking the knees right below the hips, tucking toes under for a little bit of support. We're just going to start here with a little bit of a rocking motion. So we're going to lean the hips all the way back towards the heels. The arms are nice and straight. And then just coming forward. You don't even have to pull the body through very much. Exhale as you press the hips back towards the heels. Inhale to come forward. One more of those. Just kind of noticing here, how do my arms feel? Come back to center. Make sure the hands are nice and wide spread. We're going to work into those cat-cows. You know what they are. So as we inhale, we're going to draw the chest forward, spreading the glutes behind you. And as you exhale, pulling the belly button up towards the spine, rounding the back and drawing the chin towards the chest. Inhale, slowly draw the chest through the shoulders. Exhale, rounding the spine, spreading those shoulder blades apart. Stay with your body here. Don't let that mind wander away. Think about how each body part feels here. Maybe giving thanks for each one as you go. And if your mind is super troubled today, perhaps just hanging on to an intention of peace. Let's take one more right here. Wherever you're at. Beautiful. Excellent. Good job, everybody. Let's stay grounded through the left foot and extend the right leg straight behind you. Feels good, hey? Flex through that heel. Just slightly pull the shoulders back. Draw the belly button up towards that spine again. You should feel nice and strong. Yeah, and then from here, we're gonna go ahead and exhale as we draw the knee in towards the nose, rounding that spine once again. Inhale, we lengthen out through the crown as well as through the heel. Exhale, we draw knee to nose. Little dancing cat here for you this morning. You may notice as we work our way through our practice, the odd cat walking through. And if you've got your eyes closed, you may not notice that at all. Beautiful. Let's take one more here. We're exhaling as we draw the knee in. We're inhaling as we lengthen, and then go ahead and just float that right leg down. Tuck the right toes under, and with the next inhale breath, lengthen that left leg straight behind you. Pressing through the heel, feeling nice and strong. Lifting the chest, soft micro bend in the elbows. Exhale to draw the left knee in towards the nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw inward. Inhale, exhale. Long, deep inhales. Slow, full exhales. Beautiful, my friends. Let's do one more here. Really feel that belly pulling up. Feel that back round, and then float the left foot down, tucking the left toes under. All right, let's some heat here, shall we? We're gonna slide those hands up the mat 2 or 3 inches, keeping the index fingers parallel to the side edges of the mat. Go ahead and lift the hips on that exhale breath. Downward facing dog. So it's our first inversion of the day, hanging upside down. Go ahead and pedal out those feet. We call that walking the dog. And let's go ahead and give the head a little shake here. Maybe you want to nod it up and down, working out the kinks in those necks. And then think about those hands. Let's press into them, shall we? Really feel how that lengthens out the arms. Your chest can sink down towards the mat. Oh, beautiful. Now remember, knees can be bent here. Maybe you're still pedaling out the feet. Maybe you found stillness, if that feels good for you. Remembering that heels never have to be pressed all the way down to the mat. And then from here, let's just bend into the knees, look up to the hands, and simply walk up the middle of the mat. We're going to take forward fold at the top of the mat, planting the feet hip distance apart. Just hang the upper body. Arms, shoulders, head, and neck are nice and soft here. And as always, if you like a little bit of movement, go ahead and take the hands onto opposite elbows. Go ahead and sway back and forth a little bit here. Maybe just lifting the toes to keep the weight back so you don't topple over. And then releasing hands away from the elbows, draw the belly button in towards the spine. Reach the arms out to the side, and as you inhale, reverse swan dive, letting that chest lead. Hands will come together overhead. Exhale to draw them down to heart center. Maybe pressing thumbs into the sternum here, drawing the shoulder blades back softly. Flutter those eyes closed. Pausing here in Mountain Pose or Tadasana, just taking those couple of moments to reflect on where you're at this morning. Soften the brain. Infuse your mind with the goodness that is within you. Feel your breath coursing through. And then go ahead and release the hands down to the sides. All right, here, folks, let's warm up. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And then exhale as you hinge at the waist, swan dive down into forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. We're going to plant hands in front of those feet, stepping back into plank. Remember, anytime I cue you to step back into plank, you can drop the knees, taking modified plank. From here, inhale, lower the body all the way down to the mat, keeping elbows tucked in. Inhale, rise up into cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. We're going to take a couple of breaths here in downward facing dog, appreciating it just as much as we did the first time, as if it's the first time. Again, taking whatever movement feels organic and right for you here. And then bending into knees, go ahead and look up with those hands. Walk or jump to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back, pulling the shoulders back. Exhale to fold. Inhale to reach those arms out to the side. All the way up. Exhale as hands come down through heart center. Let's do that again. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the waist and swan dive all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant those hands, step back into plank or modified plank. Inhale as you lower the body all the way down to the ground. Maybe you're untucking toes and coming all the way down. We're going to inhale, rising up into our cobra. Exhale, tuck those toes, roll over them, downward facing dog. Making whatever adjustments you need. Sometimes you need to take that extra step, or you need to adjust when you get there. That's okay. That's one of those things I want you to let go of, that expectation that you have to get into the pose on the first try, in the right spot, in the right way. Oh, people, let that go. Let's just enjoy our bodies, enjoy our breath, enjoy each other. Beautiful. Bend into knees. Look up with those hands. Walk or jump to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Releasing the hands away from the mat. On the next inhale breath, we're going to sink our hips down, reach the arms up overhead. Utkatasana, chair pose. Tucking tailbone under just slightly, looking down, making sure you can see the toes past the knees. Beautiful. From here, exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, plant hands, step back into plank or modified plank. Exhale all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lift up into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over toes, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Releasing whatever tension you're feeling in the body at this time. Trying not to jump ahead. Where are we going from here? Trying to guess, just feeling the body. And if your body needs to move, you can move. Bend into knees, look up at those hands, walk or jump to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift those arms, sink the hips down. Utkatasana, chair pose number 2. Big inhale breath here to support you, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, plant hands, stepping back into plank. Inhale as you lower the body down, keeping those elbows tucked in. Inhale, lift up into your cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, this time inhale, raising the right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, sweep it through the mat, planted quietly between the hands. Stepping the left foot forward at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, lift up, Virabhadrasana 1. Palms face forward. Exhale, slowly come with me all the way forward, hinging at the waist until those hands find the ground once again. Stepping back into plank. Inhale, lowering the body down nice and slow. Either untucking toes or staying up on them. Inhale, come up into your cobra. Exhale, roll over toes, downward facing dog. From here, inhale, sweep that left leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, float it through, planting through hands. Stepping the right foot forward, 45-degree angle. Inhale, slowly rise up with control. Virabhadrasana 1 on the opposite side. Palms are face forward. We're going to exhale, go in reverse. All the way down to those hands, meet the mat, stepping back, nice and slow, plank pose. Inhale, let's take that nice, slow descent. And then when you get to the bottom again, either staying up on toes or untucking them. Inhale, rise up into cobra or upward facing dog where the quads are off the ground. Exhale, roll over toes. Downward facing dog. I hope you're starting to feel nice and warm. I know I am. Beautiful, couple more breaths here. Bend into knees, look forward, go ahead, take that walk or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, sweep up one last time, chair pose. And remember, you could be in a high chair or you could be nice and low, totally up to you. Tuck that tailbone under just slightly to flatten out that lower back. Yeah, okay, really nice, chair pose. From here, again, we're reaching out and extending out through those fingertips. Pull the left arm back. Whoo. Inhale, reach it forward, opposite hand. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, reach forward with those arms. Exhale, left arm comes back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one here, folks. Inhale up. Exhale, pull. Inhale, lengthen into your chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, nice flat back. Exhale, fold, plant those hands. We're stepping back into that plank. Maybe it's modified for you. Inhale, lowering down. Keep those elbows tucked into the bodies. Good job. Untuck toes if you like. Inhale, rise up into cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Remembering you can take whatever adjustments. You'll see me lots of times once I get into a pose, making a little adjustment with my hands or my feet because something doesn't feel quite right. Please be listening to those bodies. It's so important. Good job. From here, I'm just lengthening up my stance a little bit, checking that my hands are shoulder distance apart. We're going to inhale as we come up onto the tiptoes, rippling forward into plank. Now I can feel like my body's way too far forward. You can see my shoulders are way past my wrists, so I'm just going to adjust and come back into that nice plank. There we are, that's what we want. Excellent. How do you feel here? How's your body? Are you giving it what it needs? If it needs to go into child's pose right now, do it. If you need frontside shavasana, do it. If you need to stand up and take a really meditative tadasana or mountain pose, do it. Yeah, all right, good job, here we go. So we're gonna exhale, hinge the hips back up into downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple forward onto the toes, coming into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time, inhale, we're gonna sweep the right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, draw that right knee, tapping the right elbow. Inhale, sweep that leg back up to the ceiling. Exhale, draw it cross body, tapping the left elbow. Inhaling, we take that leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, straight forward, tapping the elbow. Inhale, up. Exhale, cross body. We're gonna set that right foot down. In your plank, you can either pause here or you can drop knees. We're gonna go over to the opposite side. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep that left leg up. Exhale, bring it forward, tap that left elbow. Inhale, lengthen the leg behind you. Exhale, cross body, tapping the right elbow. Inhale, sweep leg up. Exhale, bring it forward, same side of the body. Inhale, lengthen behind you. Exhale, cross body. Inhale, lengthen the leg behind you. Plant it down in our plank. Either staying here with me for a couple more breaths or listening to your body and giving it what it needs. Ah, beautiful plank. You're so good for my shoulders, my chest, my wrist, my abdominals. Thank you. Are you just about ready to come out of this plank pose? All right. Let's do it. Let's walk our hands back towards our feet. So you're gonna hinge those hips up to the air. Walking hands all the way back to the feet. Let's roll up the spine, shall we? So let the head go heavy. Let the arms and shoulders dangle and simply rolling up the spine one vertebrae at a time. Go nice and slow here. I was going a little faster than I needed to, that's for sure. Letting the head, neck, and shoulders be nice and soft. Excellent. Come on up. Let's just take a real quick stretch before we do any more really heat building poses. So standing here with just feet hip distance apart. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Palms are reaching up towards the ceiling. Palms face together, reaching with those fingers. Then from here, let's come into palm tree pose. So that means we're just gonna come up onto those tiptoes. You can go nice and slow if you like. Right up. Stretch, lengthen. That feels so good. I make a great palm tree. Hey, how about you? Sometimes I wish I was where the palm trees are. Let's go ahead and sink the heels down. With the right arm, pull it down, extend the left arm up to the ceiling, and then switch on the next breath. Kind of like to think of these as monkey stretches. One breath per move. Nice and long. Let's do one more. Finish it off with the exhale. Oh, both arms up. Sweep them down, nice and slow. Feeling every move. Well done, everybody. Let's come to the back of our mat. At the back of the mat, let's take those feet hip distance apart, pull the belly in, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Go ahead and hinge over at the hips. We're gonna find the floor with our hands. Feel free to bend into the knees. From here, we're simply going to walk the hands out like a little inchworm coming into plank, and then simply walking the hands back towards the feet. Walk the hands forward. We're not coming up in between. Plank. Walking those hands back. Beautiful. Big inhale as you walk out. Long exhale as you walk back. Inhale, forward, lengthen, plank. I know you're doing great. Exhale, all the way back. This time we're gonna stay in that plank pose just for a second. Pausing here. And then whenever you feel ready, big exhale, hinge those hips up towards the ceiling. Make whatever adjustments you need in terms of stride. Maybe you're lengthening of the arms, giving a little bit more width to the shoulders, a little more room for that breath. Excellent job. All right, from here, inhale, sweep the right leg up towards the ceiling, and on the exhale breath, use it to sweep the leg through, planting that foot between the hands, and then taking that left knee and dropping it down towards the ground. So the right knee is right over top of the right ankle. Gently pull the chest through, shoulders go back and down. Pull the belly in softly. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Yeah, low lunge, my friends. And then from here, we're gonna come into a few twists. So as we do our twists, I'm just dropping my hands for a second. We're gonna talk about the hips. With our hips, we wanna keep them square to the front where we're facing, as much as possible. So we're gonna try to keep pulling those inner thighs together. Keep the hips square, so that right knee that's forward, you're gonna keep trying to pull the right hip back and left hip forward. So let's inhale, we'll reach up through those fingertips. And as you exhale, twist from the belly, drop the arms down until they're parallel to the earth. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Twist to the opposite side. Inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, twist to the opposite side. The lower half of your body doesn't move. Inhale, sweep them up. Exhale, drop to the opposite side. Last one. Inhale, reach. Exhale, drop the hands. We're framing the front foot. Step that foot behind you, coming into plank. From plank, take a big inhale breath as you lower your body all the way down to the mat. Maybe you're untucking toes, maybe you're not. Inhale, lengthening up into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over toes, downward facing dog. And then planting right foot on the ground. Inhale to lengthen the left leg up towards the ceiling. Sweep it through along the middle of the mat. There's no rush here. Planting the left foot this time between the hands. Softening the right knee down to the earth. Checking for heel, knee alignment. Pulling the inner thighs together. And then inhaling as you reach and lengthen up through the arms. How's that smile on the face? I hope it's still there. Good job. Feeling that nice stability that we've got in the lower half of the body. Reach up through the fingertips on your inhale breath. Exhale, twist from the belly. Hands float down till they're parallel to the earth. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. Good morning, river. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Last one. Inhale up. Palms are face forward. Exhale, slowly come out of this. We're coming into plank, so sweep that left leg behind you. Pausing here with the breath. And then inhale as you slowly lower the body down to the ground. Maybe staying up on toes or untucking the toes. Inhale into your cobra. Exhale, roll over those toes, downward facing dog. Oh, body, you're so wonderful. Thank you for this day. Gather yourself here. Maybe you're revisiting an intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of class. We've done our low lunges. They felt so great. Let's go ahead and take it into high lunge. So plant through the left foot. Inhale as you sweep the right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale as it comes through the mat. And plants right between the hands. We're keeping that back or the left leg nice and straight behind you, but we're still gonna pull those inner thighs together first before you inhale and sweep the arms up overhead. Really important here. So reaching up, feel the extension and the length. Feel the strength in the legs as those inner thighs keep pulling together. You're pressing back through the back heel. You're feeling all four pads of the front foot working to stabilize you. You can stay here if you like, or you can flow a little bit with me. We're gonna inhale to lengthen. We're gonna exhale, hinge at the waist, just drawing the chest all the way down to the thigh. Inhaling will lengthen and come all the way back up. Exhale, fold. feels so good. Exhale, fold. Keep those hips nice and square. Let's do one more. Inhale, reach up. And this time, palms face forward. Exhale, hinge at the waist, coming all the way down, planting the hands on either side of that right foot. Step back into your plank. Inhale, lower the body down. Inhale, rise up into your cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful job, everybody. Catching your breath. Taking a swallow. Placing a smile on the lips. Rooting down through the right foot this time. Inhale as you sweep that left leg up. Exhale as it sweeps through the middle of the mat, quietly planting between the hands. Go ahead and keep that back right leg nice and straight. Press through the heels. Let's engage those inner thigh muscles, and then inhale, reach up, lengthening through the hands. Here we are in our high lunge. Feels so good. Inhale, reach up through fingertips. Exhale, slowly fold from the waist. And maybe you don't come all the way down to the thigh, that's fine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Scan the body. How are you doing? Inhale, lengthen. How's the breath? Are you staying with it? Exhale, fold. Coming into our very last one right here. Inhale, lengthen up through those fingers. Palms face forward. Exhale, fold. Plant those hands on either side of the foot. Reach that leg behind you. Come into plank. Pause here for just a moment. Here we go. Big inhale. Lower the body all the way down. If you need a slight break here, go ahead and just take the hands underneath the forehead. Palms can be face down. Just resting the forehead on top of the hands. If it feels good to bend into the knees, you can. Taking just a little break. I'm going to reach for a little water. Take a little breath here. A little pause. Maybe you're saying some words of gratitude to yourself. And remembering you can stay here as long as you need. You don't have to move when I move. All right, I think I am ready to move. So from here, we're going to take our hands down towards, on either side of the chest, rather, those fingertips are just underneath the shoulders. Tuck the shoulders down away from the ears. Tuck the elbows into the side. Tuck the toes under. From here, we're going to press right up into plank. If you need to keep your knees down on the ground for modified plank, go ahead. Take a big inhale, breath in, and then exhale, press it on up, plank pose. Exhale, we're going to hinge the hips up towards the ceiling. We're in our downward facing dog. All right, we're going to set up for our warrior two. When you're ready, take a big inhale, sweep that right leg all the way up. As you exhale, it'll come through the middle of the mat, planting softly between the hands. Pivot the left foot so that the back of the foot, or the foot in itself, is parallel to the back edge of the mat. When you're ready, we're going to cartwheel the hands up, but remember you can walk up the leg if you need. Cartwheeling the hands up and around if you can. From here, just taking a look at your warrior two, making sure you've got lots of pressure on the back edge of that foot. The knee is not caved into the midline of the body, and then just soften shoulders, soften the breath. Soften the expectations. Looking out over the right index finger. Finding that breath, that beautiful breath. Beautiful. Notice if you're feeling as though you're going to tip forward or back, find your equilibrium. Feel nice and ground down through both feet. And then on an inhale breath, we're going to straighten this right knee, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend into the knee, coming low, warrior two. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop down. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Oh my goodness, these feel so wonderful. You can do as many of these as you like, of course. Keep that pressure on the back foot, so all the pressure is not on the front foot. Oh, beautiful warriors, everybody. From here, we're actually going to come into standing splits. So this last time right here with that right knee nice and bent, we're going to just pivot the back foot so we're facing forward. Back foot is lifted on the heel. And then from here, we're going to transfer our weight over onto this front foot. We're going to plant the hands down on the ground. So go ahead and just transfer that weight. Reach the hands forward. Beautiful. So in standing splits here, just want to make sure that that left hip isn't reaching up towards the ceiling. It's square to the ground. I like to flex my foot here, really make that whole leg come alive. You're welcome to point if you prefer. And you might notice I'm up on tented fingertips. If you prefer blocks, by all means grab those blocks, and remember you've got a low setting, you've got a middle setting, and then you've got the highest setting if you need a little bit more height. Yeah? So find out where you want to be, and then from here, we're going to inhale, lengthen out as though you're lengthening out to the crown, or not the crown of the foot, the sole of the foot. And then as you exhale, bend into the front knee. Take the back leg behind you, little curtsy. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop into that curtsy, bending into that right knee. Inhale up. Exhale, dip. Keeping the chest high. You may have noticed that every once in a while, I stop breathing out of my nose and I take a long exhale breath out of my mouth. I call those ha breaths because it kind of sounds like we're saying ha. So feel free at any time to switch up the breathing, whatever works for your body. We're inhaling to lengthen. Exhale to dip down. We've got one more right here. Inhale, reach. Exhale, dip. Bring that leg back up behind you, stopping here, just pausing in your standing splits. Feel that strength of that leg. Yeah. And then go ahead and we're going to hinge back. Actually, no, let's not. Let's float that leg back down, the right leg back down to the earth. From here, keep the feet just hip distance apart. Second toes pointing forward. Coming into a soft little forward fold. And then inhale as you reach the arms out to the side, reverse all the way up, hands will come together. Exhale, draw the hands down to heart center. Beautiful, simply turn around where you stand. Feet hip distance apart, inhale, lengthen up. As you fold at the waist on an exhale breath, bringing the hands down to the ground. Go ahead and walk the hands out along the middle of the mat. Downward facing dog, taking any movement here that serves your body. From here, grounding down through the right foot, we'll inhale to extend the left leg up to the ceiling. Exhale to draw it through the middle of the mat, plant it quietly between those hands. We're pivoting the right foot this time. We're watching for heel arch alignment, and again, inhaling as we cartwheel the arms up and around, or walking up that front leg if you need. Beautiful, looking down, making sure the knee is nice and wide over top of that heel. Maybe making a longer leg adjustment if you need. Arms are out at shoulder height, they're relaxed. Yeah, no tension there this morning. Just settling into your warrior two, feeling things out here, reaching out through extended fingertips. Find that length, find that power here this morning that's right within you. So strong. And then coming into that little bit of a flow, we'll inhale to straighten the leg, bringing the arms up overhead. Get long. Exhale to drop it back down as low as you want to go. It's always up to you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Beautiful job, everyone. Inhale up. Exhale, dip it down nice and low. Notice that the torso doesn't reach forward. You stay up nice and tall. Beautiful. Knowing that from here we're coming into our standing splits. So this is our last one right here. Pause. And then we're going to pivot that back foot. So the right foot pivots. Heel goes way behind you. That front knee is still bent. I'm losing my balance. And then from here, transferring our weight over to that front foot. Those hands come down to the ground as you extend the right leg straight up behind you. Again, just checking that the hip isn't rotated up towards the ceiling. It's facing the ground, square to the left hip. Pulling the shoulders back and down. And then just trying to put a teeny tiny micro bend in that standing leg. You don't ever really want to be locked out. Inhale, lengthen out through the sole of the foot and the crown of the head. Exhale as you dip and curtsy. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, dip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, dip. Inhale, reach that leg back. Exhale, curtsy. 2 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. This is the last one right here, folks. Inhale, lengthen out that leg. We're just pausing here, maybe coming up a little higher onto fingertips of those blocks. Nicely, nicely done. Oh, so much strength here. And then dropping that foot down. The feet will be parallel right underneath the hips. From here, dropping the head, taking just a little forward fold, stretching out the back body. And then however you want to get up, either rolling up the spine or take a nice big reverse swan dive, letting the chest lead as you reach the arms up overhead, placing palms together. Exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Beautiful. Turning around once again at the end of our mat. Hinge over at the waist, let your hands find the earth, walking out to our plank pose. Finding the strength in the plank, the stability this morning. Yeah, wide chest, open throat. Feeling our way around. And then take a big exhale as you hinge those hips up to the ceiling, downward facing dog. Rooting down through the left foot, inhale, reach the right leg up to the ceiling again. As you exhale, sweep it through, planting it right between those hands, pivoting the back foot once again. Cartwheel those arms up and around, coming back into warrior two just for a moment. We're actually going to come into a humble warrior, so flipping the palm of the right hand up. Take a big inhale as you sweep that front palm up to the ceiling. The back arm will come down, maybe to the back of the leg. But this morning, because we're going to do a little bit of a flow, we can take that back arm, our left hand, kind of take it behind the waist, and let that right arm that's above you kind of curve back behind your head. Beautiful. With our flow, and remembering you can stay here if you like, we're going to reach forward, curving the arms, and then going to change positions. Yeah, good job. Let's inhale, lengthen up. Maybe a slight retention of breath, and then exhale as you come forward. Arms staying nice and open, flowing. Feeling the back arch, keeping the belly button drawn in towards the spine. Feeling the right knee nice and stable as it stays open. And the left leg behind us nice and long and straight. So much strength through the body. We're nice and awake now. Yeah, beautiful. Let's do one more right here. Where's that smile? Coming forward, let's drop the hands down in front of that right leg. And then from here, pivot the back foot, your left foot, and drop the left knee down to the ground. So we're going to come into a bit of a lizard. So just walk the right foot out towards the side of the mat a tiny little bit so that your hands can be on the inside of the foot underneath the chest. Go ahead, and if it feels good for your body, bend into the left knee. We're going to take a hold of that left foot with the left hand. Now, if you need a block again underneath that hand, that's down. It gives you a little bit more height. Yeah? Beautiful. Feel that stretch. So good. Soften through the shoulders. Keep the belly tucked in. Now send your breath down to that quad of the left leg. It's getting a nice deep stretch here this morning. course, we're going to want to go over and take our humble warrior flow on the other side. So without kickstanding the foot, release it nice and gently. Take that left hand down to the ground. You can remove the block. From here, we're going to go over to the other side via a nice wide-legged forward fold. So simply press your hips up. Pivot both feet so they're facing forward towards me. They're nice and parallel to one another. You can take your hands down to the ground underneath the head or underneath your chest. And then if you like, you can just begin to release. And again, if you have the blocks nearby, you can always have elbows under the blocks or hands right on the blocks. You can widen the legs out if it feels a little bit better for you in that position. And again, it's not about how low you can go, it's about experiencing the stretch. Head is released. Go ahead and softly close the eyes. Scan the body. What is it trying to tell you this morning? I'm trying to listen to the body, not so much the brain, the mind that likes to make up stories. And remember, you don't have to stay here as long as I do. We'll maybe take 2 or 3 more breaths here, but if you're coming up, just come up nice and slowly with a nice flat back. All right, let's go ahead and just slowly lift up enough that you can take those hands onto the waist, pulling shoulders away from the ears, pull belly up, and with a nice flat back, begin to rise on up. Once you get all the way up to standing, we're gonna pivot the left foot straight out towards the end of the mat. Loosen my pants here. From here, that back foot, the left one, or the right one rather, is gonna stay nice and parallel to the back edge of the mat. I'm gonna shorten my stance just a little bit here. Extending the arms out, shoulder height starting in warrior 2. And then flipping the palm up of the left hand. Inhale to sweep up towards the ceiling, humble warrior. Just feeling that pose for a second or 2. And then remembering we're gonna curve the right hand behind our waist, top arm above us. Staying here if you wanna stay, or then coming into a little bit of a flow, reaching the arms wide. It's almost like we're holding a nice big ball here. Maybe it's a beach ball, maybe you're dreaming of the beach this morning. Maybe it's a nice big ball of love that you're sending to your friends and your family somewhere. Or maybe that big ball of love is for yourself. Sometimes we forget about loving ourselves, right? And I hope this morning part of this practice is that for you. And it's not just about the body. It's about that emotion, kindness that we can show ourselves. We can fill up ourselves here so that we can give more freely to those around us, yeah? Beautiful. Let's do a couple more. I have no idea how many we've done or if it's even to the other side. Really, I just let that go when I'm doing my yoga practice. All right, let's make this the last one. Go ahead and pivot the right foot behind you. Reach the arms up to the ceiling and then bring the hands back down to the mat. We're gonna come into our plank pose. Press the heels behind you, become a nice long plank. Soft bend in those elbows. And then go ahead and just drop the knees. Yeah, take the big toes together, you know where we're going. Big inhale. Exhale, press the hips back down towards the heels. Finally, a child's pose. You can take the forehead down to the earth, extending the arms out in front of you. Maybe they're up on fingertips to have a little bit more length, a little bit more height, a nice deep stretch for the shoulders. Remembering here, you can play with how narrow the hands are together or how far apart they are. And if that's not working for your body, you can go ahead and bend into the arms. Maybe you bring them around behind you. Really, I want you to have lots of options here. Inhale, let your belly fill full of air. And then allow your exhale to seep out of the nostrils nice and slowly. Inhale long. Exhale deep. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. your next inhale, slowly start bringing yourself up to a seated position. We're gonna come and sit on our behinds. So just taking a spot on your mat. Coming into boat pose, your feet will be planted at hip distance apart. Knees are bent. Lift up through the chest, nice and wide here, pulling the shoulders gently back. You can take the hands underneath the knees if you like, and then just gently lean back. Find the spot that works for your body, and then lift those legs up. Shins are parallel to the ground. Maybe releasing the hands if that works for your body. Navasana, boat pose. And here the chest is wide open. You can feel that air filling full, filling your lungs nice and full. Beautiful. And then from here, taking the hands behind the ears, we're going to draw left knee across body to tap the elbow. Extend the legs back to boat pose and go over to the opposite side. So doing little mini bicycles here, little yoga bicycles right up on the sacrum. Extending, lengthening one leg as you draw the other knee in towards the chest. Last two. And then drop the feet, grab a hold of the knees, draw yourself forward. Let's bring the knees in nice and close, shall we? We're gonna wrap the arms right around the knees, dropping the forehead down towards the knees. Take a little hug. And as you're hugging, you can press, press your back backwards. Keep your hands nice and tight around the body. Feel that stretch through the upper back, through the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift the chin, draw the legs in front of you. The feet will be together. We're going to flex into the feet, pointing the toes straight up at the ceiling. Leaning over, grab the fleshy bits and just pull them to the side, making sure we're sitting nice and firmly on the sitting bones. Going to come into a little seated spinal twist here. So from here, we're going to bend into the right knee. Excuse me. Sitting up nice and tall. Reach up, inhale, lengthen that right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, reach forward from the waist, reaching the arm straight forward. So from here, the knee is pressing right into the outside edge of the armpit. And we're going to externally rotate that arm, wrapping it around the knee. It goes behind the body. Inhaling, we reach the left arm all the way around, finding that right hand, taking the bind. And then from here, lifting up through the chest, maybe pulling that knee in a little tighter. There's so much strength here. I'm pulling in, I'm flexing through the foot. I'm lifting through the chest, the head. Oh my goodness. Maybe you want to gaze over the left shoulder, getting into the shoulders and neck a little bit more here. And then when you're ready, you're simply going to unclasp your hands, release the leg. It can go nice and long on the mat once again, but flex through that foot. And then bending into the left knee, drawing the left heel close into the groin, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen that left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge forward at the waist, reaching that arm inside of the leg, pressing the knee against the outside edge of the armpit. Externally rotating the arm, wrapping it around the knee. The hand is open, waiting for its partner. Inhale, reach the opposite arm all the way around until you can find the bind. And again, sitting up nice and tall, maybe looking over the opposite shoulder. Keep the flex in the right foot. And then you're just breathing. You're scanning the body, you're noticing. You're sending that big, beautiful breath to all those body parts that need it. And then finally, when you're ready, simply unclasping the hands, releasing the leg, take it nice and long on the mat. Oh yeah, so good. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, reach both arms up, lift the chin, reach up to the heavens. Exhale, keep the back flat as you hinge the waist, reaching forward through, making sure that we're not rounding the back without intentionally doing so. So here I'm pulling the chest through my shoulders, I'm holding onto my heels, but maybe you're holding onto shins, maybe you're holding onto toes. Every time I inhale, I'm thinking of lengthening up through the head, extending out through the feet. And on my exhales, I'm softening my body just little by little into the pose. Inhaling, I find length. Exhaling, I find that space and I move into it. And then releasing the hands, draw the belly in towards the spine. Inhale, flat back, lift up. Coming into a little bit of a baby leg cradle here. We're going to pick up the right ankle with the right hand. And just place that foot in the opposite hand. You can hold on to the right knee with the right hand and simply draw the foot into the body. If you want more than this, place the foot right into the left arm's elbow crease. Draw the foot in close to the body. Again, sitting tall, softening shoulders, softening the brain. Feeling the breath. How's the tension in the body? Has it melted away this morning? Beautiful, my friends. Keep reaching out, lifting up through the top of the head. Keep settling the shoulders back and down. And let's go ahead and switch legs. Release the right leg, flex that foot, pick up the left leg. Again, it can just go into the right hand as the left hand holds onto the left knee, or you might want to place it right into the crook of the elbow. Drawing the leg in close to the body. Don't worry if you're out here, that's okay. It's all about flexibility. And we get there over time with breath and patience, self-love. Find the length, still rooting down through the sitting bones. And if you like a little movement here, if you like to rock your little baby, go right ahead. All right, my friends, we are almost done with our cradle. From here, we're going to find ourselves down onto the ground. So let's just release that leg. All right. Lean back down onto the elbows, round through the back as you come down onto the ground. Taking happy baby, we'll lift up both legs into the sky. From here, reaching through the legs, you can either grab onto your big toes with index fingers, or you can grab onto the outside edges of the feet. From here, you're going to allow the knees to drop open to either side. Elbows are also wide. And again, if you like to rock and roll back and forth across the spine, be my guest. Perhaps you prefer stillness. Maybe lifting up the head, setting it back down in such a way that the neck is not exposed, that the chin is not pointing up towards the ceiling. Breathe the air, send it down to those inner thighs that are experiencing this nice deep stretch this morning. And then from here, simply release the feet and extend them both straight up to the ceiling, flexing through the feet, feeling the strength through the back of the legs. Now you may have noticed what I just did there. I lifted up my chest, tucked my shoulders underneath me. Nice wide open chest. Draw the belly button in towards the spine. Release the hands down to the mat, palms face down. Release the shoulders, they might be tensed up. Release them down to the mat. And then just drawing your attention to the right leg, nice and slow as you exhale. Slowly start drawing the leg down. I'm going to stop at about halfway. And then inhale as you lift it back up. Opposite leg, left leg lowers down halfway on the exhale breath. Inhale, lifting the leg back up, keeping the belly drawn in at all times. Next, exhale, breath going back to the right leg. Lowering it almost down to the ground. This time we'll hover it about an inch off the ground. Inhale, lengthen up. And when you're ready to exhale, dropping the left leg nice and slow. Keep the shoulders wide, chest open. Inhale, lift. And then this time, both legs. Exhale, dropping them all the way down to the ground. If you experience any back pain at any time, bend into the knees, draw the knees into the chest, and then extend them out from there. Beautiful. And then we're going to take all that tightness and tension that you're feeling and let it go. And find the spot on your mat, that favorite spot of yours for Shavasana. So maybe you take the next couple of seconds to find a blanket for your body, or socks for your feet, or a block for your head, or whatever it is your body requires. You don't have to be just like this. And from here, you're going to just settle down, head facing up towards the ceiling, close the eyes. Let your hands just drift down towards the mat and let your legs just also drift apart. Unclenching the teeth. We want to create space here with our body, with our brains. So allow the toes and your feet to melt away. You don't even notice them. The shins and calves that were flexed and strengthened today. The knees, the quadriceps, the hamstrings grow heavy. Your pelvis, your lower back, your belly, the abdomen, your abdominals simply disappear for the moment. Your upper back, your chest, arms and hands grow heavy and melt away. Allow your head to slump. Your neck is no longer working to hold it up. Soften your mouth, your cheeks, the eyes within the sockets, nose, ears, forehead, back of the head, and the crown of your head. It's almost as if you cease to exist. As you allow the lightness of your body to allow you to simply drift away. Your natural breath coursing in and out through nose or mouth. These last few moments of practice to simply exist. If you're ready for movement, simply rolling over to your favorite side, nice and slowly, taking your time. Perhaps cradling the head in the crook of your arm, maybe bending into the knees. Taking a couple of moments here just to feel what it feels like to lay on the side body. And maybe with that hand that's planted in front of the chest, simply press into the earth, pressing the mat away from you. To come up to a seated position if you'd like to close out your practice with me here. Coming right back to where we began at the beginning of our practice, Sukhasana. Maybe hands are just in the lap, maybe you take hands to heart center. Maybe a soft bow of the head. I leave you with love. I leave you with light and with reverence for the practice. Namaste.